I think people tend to take certain things too seriously on the internet, on the TV, and stuff like that. So my point is that you can't always believe what you see on the internet. You gotta relax. You gotta start. Don't fall for it so much. You gotta start like understanding the difference, the fine line between reality and the perceived reality that you see on TV. Period. On the screen. Period. Not just YouTube. Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Jsean.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jsean, and today I wanted to talk about something that's kind of been on my mind. And then someone left me a comment on another video, and when I replied to it, it sort of sparked my mind to make this video, right? So I normally don't do this, but it was so much on my mind that I kind of wrote like little notes, sort of, because I didn't want to forget anything, and I probably still will, because I like to just talk about it off the top of my head. The problem is I thought about this so long ago that I can't remember everything as it was coming to me. So I'm going to try to be in the moment, sort of. So let me see. I don't know what I'm going to title this exactly, but it has something to do with real life versus this life, the one that you're watching me on now, through the screen of any type. Let me see. I really didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't write bullet points. I wrote like notes, literally. But part of the thing is the way we consume information now. It's just different. Whether you like it or not, whether you're conforming to it or not, whether you accept it or not, it's just different. It's not what it used to be. It's never gonna be what it used to be. It's just elevating and going forward. So now everybody's consuming things through a screen, through the internet, TV, stuff like that, right? So, and also, it's always a race to be first. It's always very competitive. It's about speed more than content. It's about speed more than whatever other aspects there can be, right? So, almost like because people have so much access to the internet now, it's almost like whoever puts out information first, people deem it to be true because the masses gets it quickly, right? And then you have to figure out how to prove yourself or prove that to be a lie at that point. You're defending yourself instead of people doing research and listening and reading the facts and then making some type of judgment or an opinion. They just go with what they hear first. And that's pretty scary, actually, right? So I'll start with an example. Hopefully, just if y'all don't mind, just try to give this video a chance and just hear me out. And that's another thing. So in real life, what I mean in face-to-face, we meet each other. To get your point across, it's a lot easier because there's no, like when you text, it says like you can only text 160 characters for a comment or something like that. There's no limits. So when I replied to that message earlier that it kind of inspired me to do this video, I realized that my comment was like, boom, it was like a book. It was super long, right? And the reason I did that is because when I first just replied quickly, it was so small that I was like, he's going to miss the point I was really trying to make. So I try to explain more examples and kind of be detailed as possible because honestly, I could have kept writing further and made it even longer and bigger. So what happened is, then it gets so long, you're like, damn, this is too much. Somebody might not even read all this. So I'm kind of conflicted with that because this is why I prefer face-to-face interaction. So me being the type of person I am, I realize what makes me happy is just doing things that are realistic to me and true to me. And you have to try to conform to the internet, but I still want to take a piece of reality and bring it to the internet, if that makes sense, at least on my scale of thinking in the way for me personally. It doesn't mean you have to, I'm just saying. But I wanted to bring a little bit of awareness because there used to be this YouTuber that I happened to run across, and it's only because he was so popular at the time that it was just being pushed to new audiences and other demographics and stuff like that. I don't remember his name, but he was like I think he was Indian or something like that. And the story goes like this. He basically had like a V board in the back. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like the corner of a wall, right? It's two sides of a wall, and he's standing right, just like I am right here. There's a corner of a wall. It's two walls here, right? And I'm in the middle of the corner. In the video, he's doing a lot of current events. It was funny. It was produced very well. It was interesting and entertaining. And he ended up selling it, I think, and then moving on, or I don't know what happened to him after that, but I guess he just took a good payout and, he just living happy, hopefully. I remember one day I was watching and I was like, man, because I'm a strategic thinker. So I'll watch stuff like that and I'll try to figure things out. And I'm like, what do I like about his channel? What is it that, and this is before I was even really trying to do YouTube, but it's like, I always try to figure things out and wonder, like, what is it about that channel that works? What is it that this and that, whatever. And the thing that I liked about it is, and this is my true opinion before even trying to analyze anything, I was just like, this guy's like a college student or something. And he's like filming in his dorm room, or he's just a young individual making videos, in the corner of his house or something. In the corner of his room, or that room, it had like a whole bunch of like bulletins and like postings from news clips or magazines or something weird like that. That was the whole like backdrop, right? So one day I happened to see a behind the scenes footage. And I think this is towards the end before he actually got rid of his channel. And when I saw the behind the scenes footage, I was so shocked. I was like confused, and I don't know. It was a mixed emotions because I was like really lost at this point. And what I noticed is that he was it was a set. It wasn't an actual room in his house, or it wasn't, a dorm room. It was a set, like a studio set. He had a cameraman, lighting, somebody going over the scripts, somebody, it was a produced show. So my point is that you can't always believe what you see on the internet. You got to relax. You got to start, don't fall for it so much. You got to start like understanding the fine line between reality and the perceived reality that you see on TV, period. On the screen, period. Not just YouTube, everywhere. So I just thought that was amazing that I saw that. And it's weird because if you know anything about filmmaking or anything, when you watch like a night scene or something like that in a movie, when you watch it, the viewer is looking at it and thinking, this looks normal. It just looks like a night scene, like you were there at night and the street light was on. But guess what? If you were to take yourself behind the scenes, it's all lit up. It's a set. Or even if there's a design to it, even if it's outside, they have lighting on. It's like, it's made to look normal on purpose. It's not supposed to look like it doesn't sit right with the viewer. It's supposed to feel familiar. It's supposed to seem like that's what a night shot should look like and what you expect it to look like. Now, I'm not talking about the way they color grade it or stylize it. I'm just talking about the aesthetic, like the way the lights are shining and the way he's lit up and all that type of what I'm saying. That type of stuff right there is all done to manipulate your eyes. Even when you see crane shots where the camera floats in the air and weird stuff like that, it's meant for you as the viewer to see it as normal, as a perspective that you wouldn't be like, that didn't look right. Why did that happen in this angle? Shoot over here and like this and like that, and then you start. It doesn't like register with your brain and how you receive and see things, right? So YouTube, to me, for example, it's not just YouTube either, but just the TV in general is like that. So when you see people, and this is the thing. So for me personally, what I want to do is I don't want to script things. So if you often see me run on talking, it's because in real life, like I keep trying to say, is that this is how normal conversations start. It starts with an idea. It starts with a hello. It starts with, how was the weather today? And then you kind of just go off. And then you may even go off tangent a little bit here and there, which I do often. But it's like you engage in a conversation and it just keeps going. It just keeps flowing, a natural, organic thing, right? But YouTube is different. It's just like the text messages. You really can't keep it too short because then people can interpret it in a certain way that you didn't mean for it to be interpreted, right? And then if it's too long, people's retention is so short that they might not even hear your message. They might have missed the best part of the message, which might have been at the end, right? So what people do is they script it out. They do a beginning, a middle, an end. They're literally like writing out a movie. You know what I'm saying? They're writing it out to a point and producing what you see as vlogs. They're producing what you see as pranks or whatever you want to call it. They're producing it to a point where it's entertaining. So always keep that in mind, right? So my stuff, honestly, at this point, is probably not that entertaining because I'm not set up to be entertaining. I'm not filming it with the script in mind. Now, another thing with YouTube, especially, is that people only show you what they want you to know, right? They only show you what they want you to see. Now, that's not the same as scripting something. I want you to understand this. So if I met you in person today, right, I wouldn't go telling you, I took a shit today, washed my hands twice, I brushed my teeth, and I ate 2 cheeseburgers. Like, I wouldn't tell you that because it's none of your business, and I didn't feel like sharing it, and it more than likely wasn't appropriate for any conversation that I can think of off the top of my head that it would make sense for me to even tell you that type of information, right? Does that mean that it's scripted? Does that mean I'm hiding something? No, it just means that it was none of your business and it wasn't appropriate for the conversation. So being scripted and being private or choosing what you want to show somebody is 2 totally different things. So I may choose to be private. I may choose to withhold certain information that I don't feel like is your concern or your business or whatever. But I don't, at this point, I don't script anything. I'm just literally have an idea that pops in my head and I just go off and I start talking. This is why I started off, if you see in the beginning of this video, I wrote down ideas of what I wanted to talk about because there was things I didn't want to miss. But I don't operate like that. I'm not an actor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing a show here where I'm producing anything. I'm just talking in front of the camera. So in the beginning, I'm looking at, I feel you can see I'm probably like real stiff in my presentation because it's not natural for me. So what happens is I put the phone down and I just start talking. You know what I'm saying? It just starts coming to me, and that's just how it works for me. So I think people tend to take certain things too seriously on the internet, on the TV and stuff like that. So for example, to me, it's almost like if you have an actor, right? So a lot of you out there watch Power. That's 50 Cent's show. I'm a big fan of 50, and I'm a big fan of his show. It was pretty dope if you gave it a chance. If not, check it out. And if you don't know that, hopefully you know what I'm talking about. But there's a few characters on there that everybody knows. Like there was Tasha, and then there was 50 playing Kanan, and there was Ghost and all this other stuff, right? I don't even remember half the names. Tommy was super dope. It's almost like when people get so wrapped up in characters, right? When you get so wrapped up in characters, you think they're real. So I think his name is Michael Rainey Jr. He's the one that was Ghost's son. Now, I'm not going to lie. He was annoying. It was to the point where I was like, man, I don't even like the kid. I don't even know him, but I felt like I didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? But he's playing a role. So it was to the point where people in the street would see him and be like, man, how could you do this? Or they would be like, man, F you and all this stuff. And they took it so serious, like he was actually the real person that he was playing. He was playing a role, right? And so, like, my son, he loves like Mario and stuff like that. And I had to talk with him before. And when he talks about video games so much, it's almost like he believes that the Mario world is the real world and the real world is the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I feel like when anybody feels like that, it's because that world that they think is real, that's what they consume the most in their day. So if you think Mario is real over the real world, that means you're playing Mario too much. If you think that Michael Rainey Jr. or Ghost or any of them people are the real people that you're watching on TV, then you're watching too much damn Power and not watching enough real life shit that's happening right in front of your face. That's just my opinion. I just think people need to step back a little bit and understand the difference between the real and fake. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, life, and reality. For me, what makes me happy, I don't intend to be an actor. I don't want to be an actor. I don't like acting. I just want to be myself as best as possible. And hopefully somebody can relate to it. It's just kind of hard because of the time frames that you have, like I said. But now I am going to look at the phone because I just want to see if I touched on most of the stuff at least. Let me see. And that's another thing. So when YouTubers or content creators, especially when they create, like, whether it be a prank or a host, I mean, what they're trying to do is basically they're trying to have a relate. They're trying to have the audience relate to that person with whatever demographic they're shooting for. So that guy I told you about earlier who sold his channel, it's just like Drake too. You know what I'm saying? Like what made Drake Drake, in my opinion, is people thought he was like the normal guy, and people wanted to shoot for him, even though he was already rich. That wasn't the agenda they were pushing. They were pushing it like he was just a normal guy and all this stuff. So people are rooting for him. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the underdog type of thing. And that YouTuber, it came off like he was just like a college kid or something, or an everyday normal person. But then you see behind the scenes, you're like, damn, this dude's an actor basically, and he got a whole show and a whole team and all this. You know what I'm saying? But it was to portray a certain type of feel, a look, to relate to the demographic that they were pushing for. I don't know. I always find the good in everything. Even my somebody else was real sad the other day. They kept focusing on negativity, and I told them tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? Like look through a tube, tunnel vision. And you have two choices. The negativity is always going to be there. So the tunnel vision can focus on it for two reasons. It could be to focus on it to fix it, or can focus on it to emphasize all the negativity in it, or you can choose the tunnel vision over here and ignore it and focus on something else, right? So that's all tangent too. But I wanted to say that because I'm all about just trying to be positive in whatever you're doing. And I guess I'm kind of saying that just to kind of double back. Plus, it was kind of in my notes, to be real with you. But I wanted to double back on, don't take the internet too seriously. Seriously, I don't care who it is that you're watching. It could be me. It could be somebody else. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to go out your way to leave hateful comments and remarks and to spread that type of energy. Understand that what you're watching is what people want you to see. You know, even what I'm doing right now is what I want you to see. And again, I'm going to say this again. Being scripted and being private is two different things. I don't script anything. It's probably why I don't come off organized, or I can't capture certain people's attention quick enough. It's because I'm just trying to merge the real world a little bit with what I call, reality TV type world, fake world or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully that didn't go over your head too much and it made a little bit of sense to you. Hopefully it didn't sound too boring and you actually just listened to what I said and gave me a shot and a chance to see if something I said resonated with you or made sense, or it's something that you could have took, or like giving you a different perspective, basically, because a lot of people are stuck in their ways and they don't see in any other way except what they see and what they think they know. So with that being said, I'm just going to end the video. Oh, let me say this too. I'm probably going to cut this part and put it in the front of the video. But that giveaway that I was going to do for the $50, I hope nobody really comments on my videos, especially in the first day or so, regardless. So I thought about that and I was like, people might not actually interact with the video enough for me to actually pick a person. It may be weird if one person left a comment. I'm like, oh, you won. That's kind of weird. That's not very exciting. I want to give somebody a shot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care who's putting a comment or whatever. It doesn't matter. Excuse me. But I just wanted a little more interaction, basically. It didn't matter if you subscribe or once you leave a comment, you can leave. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to go ahead. I put a comment on the video as soon as I released it because I wanted to change like the rules of what I originally said. And basically, if you missed it, it was saying that in 24 hours, which is the next day, I think it was Friday by noon Eastern Standard Time, if we have at least 10 comments from 10 different people, I'll go ahead and randomly pick. If not, I'll wait and give it a few extra days until Sunday at noon. And the more I looked into it, there's like a site that I'll film it before I upload the video. But by the time you see this, it'll be Sunday at noon, right? Hopefully by then somebody will have, received that. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably just say it on here. I'll probably record the screen and show like it's like a comment randomizer picker or something like that I saw online. I could just put in my URL and they'll go ahead and randomly pick a person. That way it's fair. Because I was going to scroll through the mouse. But if there's only this many comments, how am I going to scroll through that? It's just going to go right to the bottom or right to the top. And that's not going to be really fair. And it's not going to give everybody a fair shot. let me get right back to the video because I cut through this. So make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level, and make sure you stay focused on what you need to focus on. Stay tunnel vision. Make sure your next move is your best move. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Until next time. All right, peace.